Yeah, right. It's usually you, Deanna.
I know. I'm usually the one freezing. We'll see. I'll probably do it again tonight. See what happens. I'm in the bedroom, so who knows
That's
what
your
happens.
signature. You're
All
not
right.
out
That's
on
a
the,
good way to start the call, right? Hey, I'm in my bedroom. Okay.
Yeah, right.
you're not out on your new room there,
No,
huh?
I was just saying that our concrete is being sealed tomorrow, so we're supposed to stay off of it tonight so that it
Okay,
stays clean and they can seal it tomorrow. So
okay,
yeah, I get better
okay.
internet out there, which is good because then I can
Yeah,
work out there. All
yeah.
right. So tonight's topic is eating with intention and intentional eating, if you want to say it that way. There's a few things I wanted to go through this because I think, there's the normal way of thinking or like maybe the usual way of thinking of intentional eating. And that's just thinking about what you're eating, right? But I think we should go through the different scenarios because there's a lot of times where maybe you're not thinking about it and could think about it and it could help something, right? So the more obvious ones are maybe not eating at a table and eating in front of a TV, a situation where you have a distraction or eating with your phone. So you're distracted while you're eating. So you're not necessarily tuned in on the food, tuned in on the flavors, tuned in on the portions. You're kind of distracted by other things. So that can be a time where bringing it back to if it's your meal, then this is the time to eat, not time to scroll, not time to watch a show, just to enjoy your food. I know one of the other big ones that I work with my kids on a lot is the food doesn't need to leave the kitchen or it's in a portioned size, right? Like, so if they're going to take something like Jack came down for almonds today, which I think we talked about last week, right? Almonds are perfectly fine food, but if you're eating 2 pounds of them, not really helpful for what you're trying to do. So he was ready to just take the can. And I'm like, nope, nope, nope. I go, just put a little bit, put a serving size in a bowl and, have at it. Enjoy them. But I said, you don't need to take the entire can with you to enjoy it there, right? Because he's going to sit on his video game and just boop, boop, boop. And then before you know it, the can's gone.
Yep.
So not taking the package of stuff with you. So along those lines, what do you guys find that you either had to change or maybe it's something you still need to work on with either sitting down and enjoying your meal or taking, a package of food or something with you? Let's all talk at once.
I am the same way with my kids. I make them portion things out because otherwise they'll just grab the chips and they'll disappear and then I'll go find the empty chip bag in the room. Or with me, it's nuts. I have to do the same thing with nuts and cherries. I have to put them in a bowl and otherwise I'll just keep eating
Yeah.
mindlessly.
Yeah, I have to do that with fruit even. Like I pour, I just put, okay, here's what I'm having. Like I think I showed my afternoon snack the other day. I put everything, I just portioned out everything, stuck it in a plate. And I did take that plate with me outside to eat. But I had the portions I wanted before I left, right? So instead of just taking a package of something and eating it where your destination is, and it's kind of like when you're snacking in the car too. If you have food in the car, you can tend to eat a lot more as you're driving down the road.
Yeah. Well, after driving for a few hours, don't you start a new meal? So,
Right. But if you never stopped, right, then I guess.
I agree with Kathy.
Are you with me?
Does it count as the same day?
Maybe. Yeah, right. You could go right from breakfast into lunch and into dinner, have an afternoon snack.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
It does
So
help to portion it out first and then eat it. And I don't do that all the time because you got to make time to do that.
you do. And I think it's also a habit, right? It's getting used to just taking what you need, sticking it on the plate. And it's kind of the same with, when you're portioning out your lunches or your dinners, you take whatever the portion size is, if you're following Portion Fix or if you're following To Be Mindset, you put that portion on your plate, have it let it sit for a second, right? Because I know if I get distracted after dinner enough, like maybe like a 5 minute, even, something like that, then I'm realized, oh, okay, I don't need anything else. Like I'm good. But it does take just a second for everything to settle in. And if you're getting up immediately to get those seconds, then you may not, you may find you've overeaten then by the time you've had them. So being intentional about the portions, letting things kind of work through, feel it, be like, am I really hungry? Thinking about it. And I should say this again too. I know we've talked about this before, but none of this is ever in judgment of how you're doing, what you're doing, how you should be feeling about it, right? It's all about being like a third party looking at your habits, thinking about, oh, well, what if I just tweak this? Would that benefit me? Not a you're doing it wrong or this is awful or whatever, right? Whatever harsh thing you're going to say to yourself, that's really not what it's about. It's kind of just being an observer and saying, what if I did this? What if I tried this and then see how I feel or see how things go? What if I still had my potato chips, right? Because I'm guilty in that, but I portioned it. So I didn't eat too much. I just had a little bit. I had that and now I'm fine, right? I counted it, I tracked it, I made room for it, kind of a thing.
Mm. I know about taking that whole can of nuts. I do that too often. And then I notice after, like either the next day, I don't feel good after eating the whole can of nuts.
Right.
You just really feel sick.
Yeah.
You think you would learn for the next time?
Yeah. Well, and overeating can really just make you feel sluggish and blah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So there's a few other things I wanted to throw in here too with intentional eating. I made a couple notes, so let's go to the notes. So one of the things I think about too with intentional eating is I know sometimes say it's an afternoon and you're hungry and you're trying to like snack, you're like trying to just pick here and there a few things because either you just don't feel like making a meal or you're like, oh, well, this will get me by. But in the end, you probably end up consuming more, right? Because you're just snacking till you get to that next meal instead of just making enough food at one point. So sometimes we fear eating too much, but really if we'd have just eaten a meal, it would take us to the next meal and our overall calories for the day would be just fine rather than trying to like pick at it. I know this is something I have done. Like does everybody get what I'm saying? Like you're just kind of picking so much and then you end up with way more calories than you would have had you
Adds up.
just sat down, eaten a meal, pulled out some portions, had the food, planned it out and done it. So being intentional with knowing I'm hungry and I should just eat a regular size, whatever this meal is, right? Because I usually eat breakfast, have a after workout shake, and then have a shake for lunch. Like, and then, am I echoing? and then have a afternoon meal, I would call it, because that's usually like a lunch meal for me too, because I have my shake at lunch and then a dinner. And I don't know, Lily, do you do like 5 or 6 or do you stick to usually around 4?
I usually do about 5. I end up with a snack mid-morning usually.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I work out on an empty stomach and then have my recover right afterwards. And I used to blend it with fruit, but I haven't been lately. And then I'll have my Shakeology an hour and a half after that. And then I'll usually end up having some kind of veggie or protein or something mid-morning and then lunch and then a snack and then dinner. So
Yeah.
and then if I haven't blended my shake or my Shakeology with a fruit or I haven't eaten all my purples, I have frozen grapes at night because that's my favorite
Nice.
snack at night to not eat too much other junk.
Yeah. Yeah. Which that brings me to my next intentional point, right? Like if you know you want something at night, you plan a container for it. If you're going to have some alcohol, you plan some containers for it. If you want to have a treat, you plan for it, right? It's just about thinking ahead about what you'd like that day or what you know is going to happen, especially if you have like a social thing happening, you know you're going to have something. And to just plan out your day before then to accommodate it. And then your next day just goes back to normal, right? So not continuing the treating into the next day,
But the treats are the favorite part.
right?
Can't keep it. Shoot. That's why I'm here.
Treats
Shoot.
are the best. Treats are the best. And I think you
You just
can
have to
find,
plan them into your day.
yeah, and I think you can find things become treats, or you can think of things in a different way that maybe you didn't consider a treat before. Like, like Lily's talking about frozen grapes, right? Most people probably aren't going to consider that a treat, but Lily enjoys them. They're part of her plan, but it's not having, some chocolate cake. So it's like thinking about things that you enjoy as a treat, but also part of your plan. So that then, you still can have then a treat. And there's tons of we'll find out, Kelly, in the group, there's tons of Fix8 recipes that are amazing. There's some chickpea brownies that are just, I love them. I have to stick them in the freezer, so I only have one, but they're really good. So it's just, it's planning, being intentional in your planning. And then another piece of one too, that Alana talks about is when you are starting your meal, what do you eat first usually? Who eats like the thing they like the most or the thing they want to get through first so they can enjoy the rest?
I'm a grazer. I eat a little bit of everything.
Okay, so you like to go around. You don't like to concentrate on one thing. Okay.
No.
I would say I'm the same way. I think that's why I like the small meals, like the idea of eating, 4 or 5 times and that being an okay way to eat. I much prefer, if we go out to eat, I want kind of the sampler platter.
Yeah.
So I don't think and I rarely put food on my plate that I really don't want to eat. Like I do feel like everything that I make, I do enjoy.
But
good. I guess I'd never thought of it like, oh, I have to eat my broccoli before I can eat my chicken, or so
right.
I feel like I'm okay in that area, but definitely take a little bit of everything, go around the plate.
Yeah.
So you were talking about that grazing before, where you just kind of, they had a name for that when I was in Weight Watchers, BLTs. It said bites, licks, and tastes. And they say they add up.
Yes.
You think I'm just having like 2 almonds, but I'm having a peach, and then I'm having, a piece of bread, and then I'm having this, and in the end, like you said, it's more calories than you planned for.
Yeah. And it's the same like when you have kids around, right? If you're finishing things off their plate or, things like that. I mean, I remember when they were little and I'd be like, oh, I'll just finish that chicken nugget or, have a little of this and a little of that. And that adds up too, for sure. So I always go for the veggies first. It was something Alana talked about and I'm like, that's kind of brilliant because I kind of like to save my favorite part of the meal for like the end. But then I've made sure I eat all the vegetables because while I enjoy them and I make them, they're not always I'm not always like, man, if I could just have some broccoli right now, I'd be like, because sometimes you just want the other piece of the meal. And I don't know.
I just got to tell you a funny story about broccoli. My daughter was like 3. We went to the store one day and we're in the produce aisle. And of course, she's like eye level with all the stuff there. And she sees broccoli. She goes, oh, broccoli. And she took a bite out of it. I had to buy it. I'm like, what 3-year-old kid likes broccoli?
That's great.
And I'm going, it wasn't on my list today. I had to buy it. The guy saw her bite it.
You're like, I guess we're having broccoli for dinner.
Yeah.
So that would be one way to get through, you know, if you're also having a hard, well, I shouldn't say if you're skipping containers, then making, like, some people feel like they can't finish their containers. I was never that person. I'm always like ready to eat them all. But you know, you want to make sure you're getting in a good balance. So maybe eating your veggies first would help to make sure you're getting in those greens. And not just going for the yellows, right? I know we all like our yellows and blues around
Yeah,
here.
the yellows are great. And blues are good too.
Yeah, they're all delicious.
I can't
Um,
believe we only get one blue. I still
I
can't believe
know, but you get the orange and you get the teaspoons. They're all healthy fats. They're just in different
Yeah.
forms.
Yeah.
Then you don't throw your macros off. So, and then the last idea I had too for intentional eating, I like to plate my food in a way that's attractive. So, like last night, I had to make some veggies. So I threw in some yellow summer squash, some cut up sugar snap peas, and some red pepper, so that it brings a lot of color and it visually looks more exciting. And like if your plate has multiple colors on it, different textures. That way you feel more like it's takeout or restaurant food, right? Because it's plated in a way that's attractive and not just all monochromatic. And so you're a little more excited to dive into that food too, because it visually looks good. So you're intentionally serving yourself, right? As if you were serving someone else at your house. You're making it in a way that makes it attractive to you. So does anybody have any other ways that they feel like they could be intentional in their eating or with their food prep? You guys are so quiet tonight.
But you kind of covered all the points on how to be intentional.
Okay, good.
I know-
Okay, so yeah.
I know one of the things that I always ask my clients to do right off the bat when they say that they want to get on track or get their nutrition under control, or I always tell them, start writing down every single thing that you put in your mouth. And it makes you think, at least me, it makes me think twice before I put it in my mouth. Do I really want to write this down? And if I have to send my list somewhere to somebody, my accountability partner, my coach, is what's she going to say about this? And is this a
Very
good place
good.
for me, basically? And people usually realize how much snacking that they do throughout the day, and they're not really consciously aware of it. Because a lot of people think, oh, I eat pretty well. And then, you know, oh, I had 5 almonds and then I finished my kid's chicken nugget and I, you know, finished the half a sandwich that my daughter didn't eat of her PB&J. And it all adds up, you know, to an extra meal or more for some people.
Yeah.
And so it's really eye-opening when you start
Yeah,
tracking, be
geez.
intentional.
Right. And I think it comes into play too, like if you've had your complete meals, you're less likely then to grab those things too. I find when I've eaten what I'm supposed to be eating on my plan, right? I'm not hungry. So then I'm not like, oh, I'll just have this too. I'll be like, okay, you know, we'll just shove that in the garbage or whatever, right? Or save it for them for tomorrow or whatever the thing is. But it seems like when you're on track, then those other things are easier to say no to.
You're right. And you don't have cravings when you eat right. You just
Right.
don't.
Yeah, your sugar
Neither.
cravings change so much when you go to
Yeah.
Whole Foods and take out those, especially artificial sugars and you know, high fructose sugars.
Yeah. So I have some positive stuff. We went away for the weekend. We had this party. And I was pretty good because you can't be perfect. And I did put on 2 pounds, but they're already gone plus more.
Nice.
So, because once you get back on, it works. But now this weekend we're going to my daughter's, so we'll be gone again. But it's easy. I can plan with that. So what I'm doing, I'm gonna make the chia pudding that we made last week, 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago. I'm gonna make that. I'm bringing all the stuff, and then we're gonna get a rotisserie chicken, and I'm gonna make the pulled chicken thing that
Nice.
we did.
Yes, the pulled chipotle chicken. Yeah, that is so
Yeah.
good. My
But the
Jack
chipotle
keeps
might be
asking
too
for
hot
it.
for me, so I'm just gonna do the barbecue sauce. But, so I'm gonna use them this weekend.
I love it.
Yeah,
And it's nice because you'll be at your daughter's, you can cook, you can,
right,
if you need to run to the grocery store, it's not like you're at a hotel or something and you can,
yeah. So
you
what
can
we do,
plan
we
your
go
food.
there, we cook one day and we go out one day. So, and because you gotta have some, and then she'll have ice cream, because we don't do cake for like Father's Day, birthdays or anything. We'll do ice cream because my husband always thinks like ice cream is just not as bad as cake, but he eats too much of it.
That's funny. There is an ice cream recipe. Has anybody made the it's cauliflower ice cream? I haven't
Cauliflower.
made it yet. It looks so good. It's cauliflower and coconut cream and maple syrup, and it looks so good. I should make that this weekend.
Yeah, and let us know because it sounds
Yeah.
awful.
Oh, I like cauliflower in my shakes because you can't taste it, and it makes it
Really?
creamier. So I'll have to try it. I'll be the guinea pig. I'll try it.
When you put it in your shake, do you cook it?
No, so I just get the frozen bags at Costco. So I've got like these bigger bags of it, and I'll
Okay,
just put a cup in, and then I don't put any ice because it's frozen. And
okay.
then I just add fruit, and then it's all set.
Really? And it doesn't taste like cauliflower?
No, not at all. Nope. And
Oh,
it
I
makes
gotta
it
do
creamier and it's good.
I gotta
I
try
do
it.
mine like that, and it tastes really good.
It
That
is.
way you're getting your veggies at the beginning of the morning, and it is really good.
Yep. Yeah, the vanilla with cauliflower and banana and a little bit of peanut butter. That one's delicious.
Wow,
You gotta try that. I haven't tried that.
sounds interesting.
Yeah. Well, good. Did anybody bring any food labels that you want to talk about? And while you're getting them, I wanted to give a shout out to Joy because she had her non-scale victory of a lower pant size.
Ooh,
Yay!
Nice
yay,
work.
boy.
That
Thanks.
feels good.
Pretty happy. It does feel good. Yeah.
Wow.
I bet. And do you want to share with the group how much you've lost? Because you've really been on a
Uh,
roll.
Well, I started roughly February 21st, being serious. But I am down 23 pounds. But my
Wow.
goal is to be below 200 for my 50th, which is in July, but I don't think I'm going to make it. I think I'm going to be a few pounds short, but that's okay.
That's
I'll get
okay. You're
there.
still making progress.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Slow, but I'm.
But you know,
Is
when
it
it's
this?
slow,
What's
when
the
it's slow
saying?
like this,
This.
it's sustainable, right? You're not doing anything
Yes. Yes.
crazy. You're not eating cabbage
Yep.
every meal, you know?
No, I'm still having my ice cream. I'm still, that's why the sugar is just, it's
Oh, did you
cutting
freeze?
back that sugar.
Yeah, well, I'll try out this cauliflower ice cream and let you know. Maybe because it
Okay.
is, I think it's like I don't remember that it had a yellow in it for the sugar. It was a green and a blue. I'll have to look and see because I don't think it was even part yellow, which is really exciting. Doesn't even-
Yeah.
it doesn't
Have you
even
tried the
count for your
Hello?
carbs.
Yeah.
What?
Have you tried the Hello lollipops? They're like
I
45
haven't.
calories,
I tried
and they're
Halo one
really
time.
good.
Yeah, I tried Halo one time and I wasn't a fan. I don't know.
Yeah. But they have like different, what I've been buying, and it's like 45
Ah,
calorie, and they're like fruit. I buy like the mango, strawberry, lemon,
what's
and they
the
don't
sugar?
have
Yeah, what's the sugar on it?
yeah, 6 grams
Okay,
each.
so that's gonna be a treat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Have you
keep getting
tried the-
advertisements for this Nix ice cream that's supposed to be no sugar. Has anyone heard of that, Nix?
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, it just came out, we saw it, but we didn't buy it. It's very expensive, and I think it has junk in it, even though it doesn't have sugar. I gotta look again.
Yeah, look in the ingredient list, see what they're putting in it.
Yeah, because usually when you take out sugar, you're putting something else in that's no good.
It froze.
So Maribel, what's in the ingredient list on those?
Water, mango, puree, soluble corn fiber, and mango juice.
Hmm. So maybe the sugars aren't added sugars, maybe they're just the fruit sugars?
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
Because it tastes sweet, but not. I mean, and I have them once in a while.
yeah,
Instead of buying like the sugar that has like 36 grams, I buy them those and they eat once, maybe every other day.
yeah. Well, it sounds like a good way to, have something sweet.
Mhm.
Yeah. Lily, what'd you say about the Fixate? Is it Italian ice?
Mhm.
Oh, I haven't tried those.
Have you tried that?
Mm-mm.
It's a half a yellow.
Oh, okay.
It looks delicious.
Is it like fruit ices kind of a thing?
It's let me I gotta go back and find the
Oh, it's
menu.
something you can make?
It's under the monthly, yeah, it's under the monthly fix. And it's just water, raw sugar, lemon peel, lemon juice, and liquid stevia to taste, which
Nice.
is optional. So, and it's a half a yellow for it. And you freeze it for, let's see, 4.5 hours, it says.
Okay.
So, and you get 1.5 cups, which is a good amount of ice.
Yeah.
So that was,
Can you put the recipe in this group somehow so we can see
Let
it?
me look and see.
it's in the monthly fix, so I don't know if I can.
Yeah,
doesn't-
because if that's part of the membership site.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you can look it up on, it's on BOD. You can look it up that
I'll
way.
have to look it up.
I'll see if that cauliflower ice cream's on here too, really quick.
I know, that's what I was trying to find.
I'm trying to look for it as well.
It was monthly fix, but oh, here it is.
Did you find it?
Yep. So it is a half a green, a 1 blue, and a half a teaspoon. How much is a serving size here? Half a cup. Yes, you have rice, cauliflower, cashews, coconut milk, maple syrup, coconut milk beverage, melted coconut oil, vanilla extract. Okay, I will do some research this weekend. I will sacrifice.
I'm gonna try the Italian icy, and then I'm also gonna make the mango lime ice pops because those
Oh
also
yes,
look really good.
yes.
That looks, and I love mango, so
She made
Yeah.
some kind of watermelon slushy on her Instagram or
Mhm.
something too. That looked really good. Okay, so we've got
Yeah.
lots of. We should put some treat ideas in the group too.
Mm-hmm.
yes, I'll make mine and post that in there. That looks good. Strawberry
And then-
cheesecake pops. Yum.
Ooh,
I
that
got
sounds
the
good.
xanthan gum to make the Recover frosty thing that Jen made. It was like soft serve ice cream with Recover. Didn't you make something
Oh,
like
I saw that.
Did
Yeah,
you
I think
see,
so.
Autumn posted something this week about, it's like strawberry Shakeology, collagen, almond milk, and something else. Did you guys see that?
No, that
That
sounds
was really tasty. Yeah.
okay.
I made
Okay,
that
we
plain
need to put these
yogurt,
all in the group so we're ready for summer.
and it had plain yogurt in it as well.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, 'cause
Mhm.
it might be protein then.
Yep.
Yeah. Yum. Okay. All right. Did anybody else have a food label that you want to chat about? We've gone through so many over the course of this year.
Yeah.
And are
We're
there
all getting a
any-
little better at,
Oh, at reading them? Yeah, I know. It's funny because like I can't remember what I was doing and I was like, oh, I didn't even look at the label on that. And I bet I'm like ran back in there, look and see what I'm looking at. It's a good way to know. I notice in some of the groups, a lot of people will post the front, right, of a product. And you'll be like, nope, turn that thing around.
yep,
Look at the ingredients. Let's see what's
all the
in
healthy
there.
stuff on the front. Yep.
The front's just all the marketing.
Yeah.
And does anybody
have
have
a
any
question.
questions? Yeah, go ahead, Kelly.
So corn. So lately I've been having a craving for corn, and usually I guess it's this season too, right? So that is considered a vegetable, right?
Nope, it's a carb.
Freaking carb.
It is.
Yep.
Sorry.
It's a yellow.
Unfortunately.
Yellow.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's a
doesn't
yellow.
sell. It's
In her
yellow.
book, which is on my counter over there, it's got it listed, and that's the reason why I wanted to double check. It's listed as a vegetable.
For,
Really?
It's a
did you
vegetable.
say Autumn or Alana?
Autumn,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and I even Googled it too, and it's coming
let's go to
up
the
as a vegetable. So I'm gonna go get this book. I'm gonna
It's a
go-
Yeah,
vegetable,
you get
but
your
it's,
book. I
Yeah.
got the workbook.
Corn is always carb.
So, and it's not even very high up. I'm sad to
No.
say it's.
Yeah, it's
a little bit
low.
less.
We're gonna have corn on the cob this weekend.
So
My
I'm
daughter
talking
was-
about the book.
Yeah, okay, yep. And so she listed corn on the or corn as a vegetable in there?
You better double check, Kelly. I don't know about
I
that.
am tired, but I Googled it too, 'cause I wondered.
You're like, did I read that right?
Looking, sweet potato on the top.
For me, it's about halfway down, right next to parsnip.
Oh. On
Okay, so
the,
this is, yes, it is. Oh, dang, wait.
no. Corn on the cob, 1 ear is a carbohydrate on the yellow container.
Okay. So, okay, I'm just stupid then, because obviously I don't know my colors.
You don't know colors.
well, but, oh, you know, it's traditionally considered a vegetable, but when you're containerizing
No,
it,
I'm not. You know, no, I did look it up also too, because I questioned that, so yes. So,
I mean,
okay,
it's
I'll just
hard,
go-
right? Because we grew up thinking potatoes, corn,
Mhm.
other, I mean, like, I just
Peas.
noticed that parsnips is on here as a yellow. Honestly, I had no idea it was there.
And peas are yellow too.
Peas,
And
right?
blue
But
peas,
sugar
yeah.
snap peas are a green because you
Yeah,
have
that's
the
right.
husk.
Because they're like string beans.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's all
oh, well,
about the starch content.
you know, I'm just gonna keep it green in my head because I thought that was good, and it didn't kill me because I've done it, I mean, several times, and so all good.
Ignorance is bliss some days.
Yes, so green it is.
is that
You're
kind of like
kidding.
peanut butter is a green as well?
Or,
Yes.
or a
No.
teaspoon's really a tablespoon of peanut
Yeah.
butter.
Yeah,
Exactly. We all play those games.
Well, peanuts grow underground, right?
No,
Kind
yeah,
of like a
true.
So
vegetable.
another one, I do have another one then, cherry
Okay.
tomato. Is that a fruit or,
A tomato is a vegetable.
because that's another one that I
Yeah.
But
wonder.
sometimes tomato sauce is a fruit,
A tomato sauce with sugar added is a
is a
purple.
fruit.
Yeah, so if it's a store-bought tomato sauce where they've added sugar, it's a
Right.
purple.
Right.
If it's regular tomato sauce that you've made or a Rouse doesn't have sugar. So if it's, I believe the number is 5 grams of sugar or less
Right,
is a green.
Right.
More than 5 grams of sugar is
Uh-huh.
a purple.
I guess the same thing with salsa. It could
Salsa,
be-
same thing. If it's store-bought and they've added sugar, because a lot of processed things, they just add the sugar in. And
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I did read that one right. It is green. Just making sure. Oh my God.
you
I
just
cracked
have, why
myself
don't you
up.
just have some corn with your tomatoes? And you'll
There you go.
we'll work it out.
But no, it's been late because I usually don't buy corn, and so it's just kind of a craving that I've been having. So, oh well, it is.
Or you
what
could
it
make
is.
a corn salad with just a little bit of corn and more of the other things.
No, girl,
That's
I
right.
wasn't even doing the container size. I mean, this is canned corn too, which is even worse. Not even an ear of corn. I'm talking about like it was, yeah. So. It's all good. It's all good. So,
Is one ear considered one yellow?
One ear of corn is a yellow.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And if you cut it off, you probably get a little less, but yeah.
Mhm.
Well, good. Does anybody have any other questions? We don't have like this in-depth conversation today.
Yeah, sometimes we talk a lot.
Usually we're like nonstop.
what about cauliflower pizza crust? I was
Mm.
wondering about that one too. 'Cause
Most of the time it's a blue because they usually put a lot of cheese in it to hold it together. And it depends on if they've added potato starch to also hold it together. That's going to be a
Oh.
yellow. So it really depends on the ingredients.
okay, I don't have the
There's
ingredients.
got to
I
be
think-
some kind of binder, right? To keep it in crust form. So it really just depends on how they make it.
Oh.
I know it had milk.
So milk's a yellow at 8 ounces.
So when you add the milk to the shake, it's like a 4 or 8 ounces of milk.
8 ounces
Yeah.
is yellow for if you're adding that to your shake. Yeah.
Unless you
Okay.
use the
Unless
almond
you're having
almond milk
unsweetened
and the
milk.
coconut milk, then it's just 1 teaspoon.
Well, no,
Right.
yeah, it depends on the type of milk, right? If you're talking cow's milk, it's a yellow. If you're talking almond milk, it's a teaspoon.
Yeah.
I believe oat milk was a yellow. Hemp milk was an orange, I think.
Unsweetened coconut is a
Unsweetened
teaspoon.
coconut's a teaspoon. Yep.
Yeah.
So if you add regular milk, then it's the yellow.
I personally just do water most of the time unless I have leftover nut milks from our cooking shows.
I have a question for you that I had posted in the chat, but I don't think you saw it.
Oh, okay.
In the coach chat. So I had a gal send me something, and I'm assuming it is like frozen yogurt fruit. She didn't actually post a picture of what it was. She just posted the ingredients and the calorie count. So 1 cup is 40 calories, 0 fat, 8 carbs, 2 fibers, 6 sugars, which includes 3 added sugars, and then 1 gram of protein. And then the ingredients, because I was like, well, I need to know what's in it. Where's the sugar coming from? And so it's strawberries, raspberries, yogurt, and the yogurt is skim milk, cane sugar, which is where the added sugar comes in, the milk protein concentrate, and then it's fruit pectin and vanilla extract. So her question is, if I'm turning that into a container, what would I containerize it as? And so my question was, since it has the added sugars and it has 6 grams of sugar, how would you containerize that? Because it does have a lot of fruit,
Yeah.
but only 1 gram of protein, so not that much yogurt or milk.
Yeah, it's not a lot of protein for a yogurt. That seems really weird.
I think it's more fruit and it's just maybe just coated. with the-
Okay. Yeah.
The milk and frozen.
So you're
So-
probably like it's only 8 grams of carbs. Is that right?
Yeah, and 2 fiber.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you just go like a half a yellow or something on that versus adding in a purple somewhere. Cause it's like you'd have to have a couple servings to kind of get to a combination of containers.
Yeah. Would you add like a half of, if you're gonna have a whole cup of it, would you add a purple?
What was a serving?
1 serving is a cup, the 40
Okay,
calories.
so the 8 grams of carbs is just 1 cup.
That's
I
why.
That's tough because it's like it's a treat, right? Because you have added sugar, kind of, but it's not enough added sugar. So you could probably go a half a purple because there's not enough protein to matter either.
Yeah, and there's not a ton of calories either. It's
Yeah,
only
I
40
think maybe
calories.
I'd go half a purple then.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking, but I was like, well, but there is added sugar. So how do you add
Yeah.
that into it? So, okay.
Because I mean, you could count it as, say, like, you know how you can have up to a teaspoon of maple syrup in your coffee or honey in your coffee or whatever. It could be just like that, right? Like you're not really counting it, but you know it's there. So maybe you only have a serving a day or a couple times a week. But yeah, I
Okay.
think you're probably safe with a half a purple in that. I
Okay.
know that's what's hard, right? Because with the proprietary information, it's like we're always kind of guessing outside of just actual whole foods
Yeah.
and what's on the food list.
When I was going to tell her, you can make this yourself.
Right?
If you really wanted to.
Well, and just have it with real yogurt that has
Yeah.
protein, right?
Yeah, that's what I would do if I was making it myself. I would just, and I know there is a recipe somewhere that I've seen where it is literally you just dip your berries in yogurt and eat it that way. And
Yeah.
you could also freeze them that way if you wanted. So
Yeah. Well, you could probably make like popsicles out of them or something in those little containers.
You read
I've
my
done
mind.
that before.
You
Yes,
read
next
my
tracking
mind. I was
together.
like, yes.
Popsicles, I'm in.
No.
Does anybody, like an 80-day obsession, they made the Recover popsicles after one of the phases.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I had one this morning. It was delicious.
There you go.
I have a
Mhm.
question. In the recipes that last week, they were using raw honey. What's the difference between raw honey and other honey?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, it's just filtered, I believe. I don't know if honey gets pasteurized ever, like dairy products do. Because if it's raw, it hasn't gone through some kind of a system to eliminate potential food issues.
Oh, but it's counted the same? How
Yeah,
is honey
it's
counted?
not calorically different or structurally really
Oh, okay.
different. It just means it's been, raw, just hasn't gone through a process to kill anything.
Okay, and how is honey counted?
Well, if you're not having very much, you can have like up to a teaspoon in a day. That's really not counted. So if you
Oh,
had it in your
really?
tea or if you had it in your coffee, if it's something where you're going more than that, then I think she's considering it more like a treat and you want to limit it to like 3 times a week if you're having, more
Okay.
than that. But I don't know.
Because it was in that
Let's see if
pudding, the chia pudding, but
it was, and that had a yellow,
it had half a
part of
yellow.
yellow
Is
in
that
it.
where the half a yellow came from? The
Yeah.
honey?
Yeah. It could have been the combination of the honey and the coconut milk making that yellow. It's hard to say because see, they're also, when they combine recipes like that, like say you have this recipe of all these things in it, sometimes they use a container, like they're combining all of the nutritional ingredients. And so if there's enough carbs to make a yellow, then they'll show a yellow, but it might be made of things that traditionally we wouldn't say is a yellow category. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But foods have multiple things in them, right? So, but when they come out with recipes like that, there will be times like in that Chipotle pulled pork, right? There was a half a yellow in that. And that's because of there's carbs in the barbecue sauce. There's some other carbs that exist in the combination of foods.
Oh, okay. All right.
So she's saying in moderation, max twice a day is 1 to 2 teaspoons of sugar, honey, or other caloric sweeteners.
Oh. Okay.
Here's a weird question. I've been craving peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
That sounds
How do I
delicious.
make them? It sounds
Make
delicious,
it-
but the carb, then the
Make
sugar
the
is like,
peanut butter, make the peanut butter and jelly Shakeology recipe. There's a peanut butter and jelly Shakeology.
there's like with grapes, right? think I've seen
I
it.
don't remember. I've actually
Okay.
never made it. I just found it the other day though when I was looking.
And if you haven't had cotton candy grapes, go get those because they're amazing.
Really? Never heard of
Okay.
those.
So I make peanut butter and jelly cakes. I will do like a Kodiak cake. So I do the mix where I don't add egg, I just add water. It's a yellow and a half plus a half a red for 2 pancakes. And then I'll smear a teaspoon of peanut butter on one, and I'll smear my homemade jam on the other one and sandwich for
How
breakfast.
do you make the jam? Do you get it out
So
of the
I will
factory?
just take fruit. So I'll take 7 to 8 cups of fruit, and I'll do around a half a cup of sugar and some lemon juice, and I just cook it down a little bit. And so it thickens up,
Okay.
and then I just throw it in my freezer. So I keep
Thank
the
you.
sugar pretty minimal. So you still just have mostly fruit flavor, and works out pretty well.
Hmm.
The Mindset membership has sexy strawberries and peanut butter dip.
Woo! All right.
Gonna check those out.
That must have been for Valentine's Day.
I don't know. I haven't seen them before. Gotta check it out though, for sure.
I love it.
I put the 2 recipes in the chat for the strawberry cheesecake pops and the cauliflower ice cream because they're both on Fixate.
Okay, I will
you,
copy
Lily.
those and I'll put them in our post when I put the recording up. Perfect.
My phone
Lovely.
might shut off because it's getting hot and it just
And
told
Lily,
me.
sorry I missed your question. When did you put that up there?
A couple days ago.
Oh,
That's
shoot,
no
sorry.
big deal.
Yeah, just yell at me.
Mm. I forgot it was when we were working out, supposed to be working out and chatting.
Got it. Oh, that was my anniversary. Yeah, I didn't get anything done that day.
Yeah, that's all right. We're all busy. No worries.
All right, you guys. Well, do we have any more questions or we good? And does anybody have something they want to talk about next week?
You had said at one point you were going to talk about sugars and the different types of sugars. I think that
Oh,
might
we
be a
should,
good
yes.
subject.
Let's make sure Beverly is available for that though, because she is so amazingly knowledgeable about sugar alcohols and artificial sweeteners and how they affect people. But yes, let's do that next week. We'll talk about sugar. And we can talk about ways to kind of curb the sugar cravings and pare it down if anybody's got some soda addictions.
I will say that probably in the last week, and it's amazing. Once you kind of turn that on, I don't really drink sodas, but I had a weak moment like a week ago. And so I probably had 3 Cokes.
Yeah, it's like when you let them back in, and then they
Yeah.
want to keep coming back.
So I'll have to blame Dave for that with his Cokes. But
Poor
no,
Dave, not even here to defend himself.
I don't really I don't really crave them, but I had one and then it was just kind of like I turned something on and I was like, ooh, 3 days later I want another one. And 3 days later, one today, actually have to admit, I had one before the call. just because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna drink it. I know I confessed the other day that I had one too. I think it's on Thursdays. Something about Thursdays. The last couple of Thursdays I needed a Coke. So maybe I should put something else in that Coke.
Maybe.
Try having an extra Shakeology maybe, or make Shakeology balls, or
Yeah,
the yogurt and Shakeology, or yogurt and recover, whatever she calls them. I can't remember what she calls them. But
yeah. It's just
Those are always
I
good.
don't know. It's just a weird thing. I'll turn it back off. So
Have you tried the sparkling water? That was good. The
Yeah.
cherry raspberry, those are really, I stock on those a lot. And if I crave and I don't crave sodas, but if I want that sweet, I just go get one of those and I'm done.
Yeah,
Well,
you can do like a sparkling cider and put fresh fruit in too.
I was drinking, and I stopped that too when I realized, which I know a Coke is, I guess, technically a yellow, a really bad yellow.
It's not
But
not
that's-
trackable. Not trackable.
Okay, so anyway, But because I know somebody else had asked, and it might have been.
It goes
Matt
with your
Berry,
green. It's a
the-
vegetable.
Yes, it is. It goes with my corn.
Have it with your corn and it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. No, kombucha. I was drinking that, and I stopped drinking that when I realized that it was taking one of my yellows. So,
It does. Yeah.
yeah, didn't like that.
There's usually some added sugars into that one too. I mean, it does have some bonus, but it's also not necessary, you know.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, then it sounds like we're on for sugar next Thursday. Maybe we should bring some of our favorite sugary labels to take a deep dive into. what
Oh
we're
my
eating,
God.
We're all in trouble.
if you want to know.
Yep. That's where I really think my sugar is why I'm having such a hard time getting down past that 23 pounds. Because I've been at 23 pounds for quite a while, like 2 or 3 weeks. So I know that's what it is. It's just trying to get past it.
Maybe just
Horrible.
replacing, one of your treats right now. Just kind of one at a time.
One step at a time. Yeah.
One step at a time. Or switching them out for something that's just a little better option. Try some of the Fixate recipes. I'm telling you, those chickpea brownies are
I'm gonna
life-changing.
try. We made it. I think we made those one of.
Well, we made
no.
the chickpea brownie dip.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's very
Which was
similar.
basically chocolate hummus, which
Yeah.
was great. Yeah. That was good.
Let's grab a picture.
All
before
right,
everybody gets
perfect.
off.
Jamie, do you want to pop on so we can get your beautiful face on here?
Sure, I've been actually meal prepping this entire time.
Oh,
so
I love
have-
it.
Good for you.
You get the gold star.
Yeah, I'm like multifunctioning.
Perfect. All right, you guys. Everybody say cheese.
Jeez.
Jeez.
Good job. Okay, I think I have everybody looking. All right. All right, you guys, I'll stick the recording up. And if you have any of the ideas we were talking about, popsicles, ice creams, all that good stuff for recipes, throw them in the recording post and then other people can see them too. All right, have a great night. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Right.